affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I think the advice I would give is you don't need to know all the answers. The craziest thing was believing that your dad knew everything. So as a dad, you felt like you had to know everything. You had to get everything right. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, then, it kind of starts to work itself out. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Kick back and relax. Time to get in on a Sunday sports groove. Onside Radio presents the Sunday Sports Drop with Jazz Santana. To reach out to the show, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. The text line is 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Let's get started with this week's Sunday Sports.
Drop!
Welcome. Good morning, everybody. Onside Junkies. This is Jazz Santana. It's the Sunday Sports Drop on this beautiful Sunday morning here, joined in studio by my man on the ones and twos, producing the show, Mr. Abel. Good morning, Abel. How you doing, my brother?
Good morning, man. How you doing? You caught me off guard there, but thank you. Good morning. You just woke me up.
Yeah,
you just woke me up, Jazz. Thanks.
It's the daylight savings time, man.
It is. It
you know?
really surprised the heck out of me. I was driving, hoping I can take my time coming to work, but the clock on my vehicle is digital, and that doesn't change.
Oh yeah, mine too.
Yeah, and as soon as I seen it, I'm like, whoa, wait, 4 o'clock? What's going on? And yeah, way too early. So that did it. That's how my morning started.
It's still it's still predominantly dark outside, but obviously the sun's starting to creep out a little bit now. Yeah. But listen, I'm kind of a vampire, so I love it when it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, everybody, Abel has all the lights on in here, and I'm like melting in here. No, I'm just kidding, man. It's all good. Yeah.
Well, if you don't believe him, all you have to do is just go to YouTube Live, and you'll definitely see him.
Shameless plug. There we go. That's perfect, man. We got a pretty good show today, man. A lot of things going on, but of course, the biggest headline in sports this week. Is there any doubt that it's the J-Lo A-Rod thing? Is there any doubt? Because that's what everybody's talking about right now. Whether it's sports, whether it's pop culture, this is driving me absolutely insane. And when my fiance actually pointed it out to me like 2 days ago, she's like, "Did you see that J-Rod, that's what they're called, J-Lo and A-Rod are splitting up?" And I'm like, what are you talking about? They just bought a house like the other day in Miami, like a $40 million crib. They're not breaking up. What is this? This is crap. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I said that, of course, Instagram and Facebook starts feeding me all this J-Lo and A-Rod crap. And I'm like, oh, geez, here we go. And I'm looking at it, and it's driving me crazy, and everybody's talking about them breaking up. And then I get a notification this morning as I'm driving in here that they have gone on, I guess, national TV or made some sort of statement or whatever, that they're not splitting up, that those are just rumors. They were kind of getting out in front of it so it doesn't become something crazy. It's already become something crazy. I mean, J-Red's got more rings than Tom Brady at this point. This is absolutely unbelievable how she's been able to pull this off. Well, I guess it's not unbelievable. Just looking at, she's a 51-year-old woman and she looks like she's 30. It's absolutely incredible. So, but apparently they are staying together. So squash those rumors, everybody, okay? For all the men that are listening, that are, and even all the women that are listening and are all about this J-Lo, A-Rod stuff, squash the rumors, fellas. Leave it alone. No, I'm just kidding, man. I don't care. This is it's true, though. It's true. This is the biggest, the biggest news in it's probably pop culture, not necessarily sports, but A-Rod is obviously a big sports figure. So it's just funny that we spend so much time talking about stuff like that. It doesn't matter. Look, I'm guilty as charged right now. I'm talking about it way too much for my taste. Anyways, some other big news. And by the way, before we get to that, we got a great show today. As always, Brady Hawk is going to join us on the second segment here when we come back from break at about 7:20. We do Hawk Talk Miami Heat as they continue with their hot streak. Hey, Miami Heat are now the 4th seed in the East, just creeping up little by little, just behind, I believe it's Milwaukee. Who else? Well, Milwaukee, the Celtics and the Sixers, who, I mean, just got a big blow this past week as well with Joel Embiid going down, who's probably the MVP, the top MVP candidate right now in the NBA. So Brady Hawk will come on and talk to us some Miami Heat basketball, and I get my brother on, my good friend, Mr. Kai Chen Chisholm, who has an amazing show here Monday through Friday at Kai's Corner from 10 to 12. So you'll be able to listen to him Monday through Friday. He's coming on the show in the 8 o'clock hour. We're going to talk a little Miami Dolphins football, maybe some Heat as well with him. We'll just talk a lot, just sports in general. He's a great guy to talk to, knows a lot about sports. He's exciting, he's young, he's passionate, just like Brady, man. We got a bunch of young cats down here that are doing some really good work in the sports industry, talking about sports and providing you some really great content. And so we'll talk to Kai as well at I believe it's the 8:20 at 8:20 a.m. as well today. So big show there. Obviously, the other talk about local sports is the Myers Leonard situation, in which he made some derogatory comments while playing, I guess, on his Twitch account, which is funny because you can also catch us on Twitch. We have a Twitch channel as well. Just search Onside Radio, and you'll be able to log on and subscribe, rate, and review, and all that good stuff, and you can check us out there as well. But so apparently, while playing a video game with some of his buddies, decides to mess around. While he's messing around, and listen, I don't condone it. I think that any type of anti-Semitic, I guess verbiage is absolutely wrong, and he deserves to get penalized for it, and he deserves, to get the criticism that he's getting. I totally get it. And the sad reality is that people do this every day. Okay, whether they're messing with their friends or not. He just happened to be on live on Twitch and got caught saying something. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, they all talk this way, man. Like, I don't want to say they all, because now I'm kind of generalizing that everybody in the NBA talks like this, but things like that happen all the time. We just don't catch it because we don't hear it live, but I'm sure it happens all the time. And that's where this is where you need to kind of understand that it's not cool, man. It's not cool to say certain things like that. It's not cool to disrespect and to talk like that about whether it's a religion, whether it's a race, whether it's a person, a gender. It doesn't matter, man. It's wrong any which way you spin it. So guys just need to be a little more sensitive about that, and they need to just watch what they say around certain people, because at the end of the day, you can joke around with your buddies, you can joke around with your friends, but you got to make sure you got the right friends. You got to make sure you got the right people around you that are not going to put you in a position, where you got to say dumb, where you say dumb crap and it gets, spilled out there. Because look, not everybody's not guilty of saying something like that. But at the same time, there's always been something that someone says, and, they may not necessarily mean it, although he knew exactly what he was saying. So when he came out and he started saying that his blood sugar was low, and he has issues with this and that and the other, he didn't know what the word meant. Brother, if you didn't know what the word meant, then what the hell are you doing saying the word? Because I'm sorry, man, I'm not gonna talk like that and say certain words that I don't know what the meanings to them are. That's just the bottom line. So you need to be more aware about what you say and how you say it, okay? Because now you just cost yourself, obviously some money when you got fined, but you're done with the Miami Heat. That's it, man. Myers Leonard is not going to see another day on the court, and I know he's injured right now and whatnot, but he's not going to see another day on the court for the Miami Heat. And now anybody that brings him in is going to have to deal with the backlash and the PR and all that crap that's going to come along with it. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I kind of see him, and yeah, he seems like a really cool dude. He seems like a good dude. Him and his wife have a good time on social media, doing all that stuff. And this one little thing is going to ruin him completely. And that's where I just don't, I guess I'm being soft about it, that I think everybody deserves a second chance. Okay. It was a word, and words do hurt. And it's disrespectful, and it's racist, and whatever you want to call it. But, do I think that that's the type of person he is? No. And I'll say this about anybody, and anybody could challenge me on it. But I'll say it about anybody, man, because growing up in high school, growing up in college, you hear all kinds of things, man. And I grew up in all kinds of genders, and every gender and every race, in my high school. I mean, I have friends from all over the world, and I've heard it all, man. And people have said everything. People are not like that, man. I just don't think that that's really him, as far as the type of person he is and hates. I don't know if that's. I don't know if we took it a little too far. Maybe we did it, because at the same time that he made that mistake, and he's allowed to make a mistake. Everybody's allowed to make a mistake. You got to be accountable for your actions as well, and you got to pay the price. Bottom line. So, we'll get into that more maybe with Brady and with Kai and whatnot. We'll keep talking about it, but in other kind of, I guess, news, like I mentioned earlier, the Miami Heat continue to just ball out, man. 9-1 in the last 10, and that's the last 3 of them played without Bam. But they've got Goran back, and that's huge. And you saw what he did against the Bulls in the fourth quarter. I don't want to give it away too much. I'm just giving you a little bit of a tease, but whoo, he looked nasty in that fourth quarter. So a lot of good things coming from the Miami Heat, 9-1. And like I said, in the last 10, every once in a while they look like they struggle on offense a little bit. And I think that, like I said before, I think they need that extra little piece to kind of help them out. And I know there's some names out there, and we'll talk about that with Brady also, some names out there that the Miami Heat are looking at that may still be in the mix as well for them. But they still do need to make a change. They do need to make some sort of move that's going to help them, down the stretch, and obviously in the playoffs as well. And then I know the biggest controversy is going to be Miami Dolphins football. Obviously, football's back. Football never left. Football never leaves, actually. Free agency is coming up. And obviously the Miami Dolphins are right in the mix for some guys in free agency. But I think the biggest one everybody's talking about is this Aaron Jones situation, the running back who's a free agent out of Green Bay. And it seems to be like he may be one of the guys that the Dolphins are looking at the hardest. I'm going to tell you why I don't think it's a good fit. Actually, I'm going to tell you why it's not a good fit, period. And why this whole Aaron Jones hype, to me, is just crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. And I don't get it. I don't understand why Miami Dolphins fans and reporters and everybody. And listen, there's some people. Juan is one that wants Aaron Jones, who's coming up at 9 a.m. today. He's going to talk about it. He's going to say, hey, whatever, pay him certain amount of money. Whatever the case is, he's going to make his case for why Aaron Jones should be a Miami Dolphin. I'm going to make the case for why I think it's a terrible idea, okay, and why he is not a very good fit on this team, okay, and then, of course, some extra Dolphins free agent talk as well. We'll talk about that with Kai, and we'll talk just in general, man. I'll talk a little Dolphins free agency with you guys as well. But like I said, we've got a big show today. You can, by the way, give us a call. You know, got some time to hear you guys out. 888-441-4623 is the phone number. The text line is 844-416-8123. So just give us a call, send me a text. You know, I'm always around, man. I'm always here listening to you guys. I want to hear what you guys have to think, what you guys have to say about Aaron Jones to Miami. I also want to hear what you guys have to say about the Miami Heat. Who do you want to see on this team, right, without having to give up too many assets? I think that's going to be the biggest thing, you know. And then, of course, we're going to talk some Canes football as spring football is starting tomorrow, baby. Miami Hurricanes football, there's nothing like it. So we'll talk Miami Hurricanes football as well in this hour, and I'll get you caught up on Miami Hurricanes, on Hurricanes football, baseball, basketball, everything Miami Hurricanes. So you can watch Onside Radio daily by subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Search Onside Radio, log on, subscribe, rate, and review Onside Radio on YouTube and Twitch. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's home for real sports talk. When we come back, Brady Hawk.
Now streaming online.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
You can now watch Onside Radio daily by subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Search Onside Radio. Log on, subscribe, rate, and review Onside Radio on YouTube and Twitch. Watch Austin Robillard's hair grow by the minute. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk.
He has an overbite that makes him look like a cartoon character, a slightly crooked eye, and an uncommonly wrinkly neck. In the right light, he can look a little like a garden gnome, and he'll wear a bow tie just because. Sure, you might call him a little quirky, but that's exactly what makes him so perfect. Tuna is a 3-year-old Chihuahua Dachshund mix with more than 700,000 followers on Instagram, and it all started because he was adopted. You can't buy a best friend like Tuna, but you can adopt one. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
I'm 54, so basically, it's too late to start saving for retirement, right?
Not right. Starting to save, even in your 50s, can really make a difference.
Well, right now, saving seems hard to wrap my head around. Plus, with the way this year's been going.
Hey, listen, it's okay. You still got this. Just go to aceyourretirement.org. It's an online tool from AARP that can help you get your retirement savings on track no matter your age. It's free and only takes about 3 minutes.
I like 3 minutes.
Yeah, at aceyourretirement.org, you'll chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer a few questions and you'll get a personalized plan and tips to help boost your retirement savings. Tips that are easy to understand and tailored to your lifestyle.
I like that too.
Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Just head to aceyourretirement.org and make your plan to start saving for retirement.
Thanks.
That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Need your Miami Heat fix? We have it for you right here on the Sunday Sports Drop. Get ready for Hawk Talk with Brady Hawk.
Time it is, you know. You can't know what time it is. You can't not know what time it is. It's Hawk Talk, baby, with Brady Hawk joining us here on the program now. Brady from the 5 Reasons Sports Network. By the way, first and foremost, congratulations to the well-deserved, appointment as lead. I guess you could say lead beat writer for the Miami Heat for 5 Reasons Sports. It's very well deserved, my man. Congratulations on that. You do a hell of a job doing that, man. So big ups to you, my brother.
Hey, man, thank you. I really appreciate it, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, no problem. Always have fun having Brady on the show on Sundays, and always thank you for coming on so early too. So, hey, listen, Miami Heat kind of kept it going, man. Kept going where they left off in the All-Star break. This is now 9 out of the last 10. They're 9-1. Okay, they're now in the 4th seed in the East. Big things going on. Yeah, slow start a little bit against the Bulls on a back-to-back on offense, but that's kind of normal as far as a letdown is concerned. Were you concerned at all with how they played a little bit, probably primarily in the first half of that game?
I think I'm concerned with the offense in general. I think there's still some question marks there. I think the defense is playing at an exceptional level. You saw them basically turn it around at the beginning of the year. They basically were not a great defensive team at all. That was basically their biggest weakness, and now we're seeing them be probably the best defense in the NBA right now. Over the last 15 games, are the best defense. I think they're number 5 overall, even after that slow start at the beginning. But it is the offense that I think is the worry. You're seeing them, not really have get into a flow at all, other than Jimmy Butler having the ball and creating offense by driving kicks or just getting to the basket. And I think that's worrisome a bit. I think that has a little bit to do with Bam being out, but that was still an issue before Bam even got injured. So I do think there's some fixes there. And as you mentioned before, I think we'll get into some guys that they can go after, but I also think there's some in-house moves that they can adjust to fix as well.
Yeah, and look, I mean, we kind of always knew that this an Eric Spoelstra team, man, wasn't really going to play terrible defense for too long, right? They were going to put it together and kind of figure it out. He does a great job of doing that, and that's being done also with probably our best defensive player not playing, right? Avery Bradley, I would say, would probably be our best defensive guy on the floor for the most part. He doesn't even play. They're trying to figure it out. Like you said, they're playing great defense now. I think the one part that was kind of a head scratcher to me, and I'm sure you know where I'm going with this, was Chris Silva coming in and getting those precious minutes. Maybe, listen, you know the team better than I do. Maybe it wasn't such a head scratcher, and I know Spoelstra's been known for making, some crazy moves every once in a while to kind of, spark the team and get the team going, or maybe light a fire under them. And Chris Silva is that kind of guy that brings in some amazing energy to the floor, can play a little defense, right? Will give you a couple buckets here and there and get some offensive boards. But talk to me a little bit about what went behind making that move in that game against the Bulls. Was it maybe giving him a rest? What was that?
Well, when Bam went out originally, I think everybody was aware that this was Precious' time to finally get increased minutes at the NBA level. He went from having a long layup after college to just having to adjust to being thrown into the fire in the NBA. He started his entire career from high school to college, and then now he's just in a bench role where he's just getting some relief minutes for Bam. So this was finally his time to basically, get that run. And I was basically just as confused as you were. I don't think Chris Silva gives many things, additional than what Precious gives you. You mentioned energy. You mentioned, a little bit of defense. You mentioned all those things, and I think that's pretty much what Precious gives you. I do think it was an energy type thing that you want to just spark it. There might have been something there with Precious from the previous game where there was a bit of a miscommunication. But obviously he's a young guy. Miscommunications happen, so I don't think that's the main issue. I was surprised with Chris Silva's play, actually. I think he played pretty well. If I always compare it to the KZ Okpala's of the world, because KZ Okpala's biggest issue is, finding his spots in the offensive defensive scheme, where to be in the system, because there always seems to be an issue with that. And Chris Silva got thrown in and basically was in the right spot every single play. He was setting the pick, rolling to the basket, knowing where to be to space the floor. And I think that says a lot about him because, he has not had a lot of run on this team. So that means his work ethic is through the roof to be that prepared and that ready just through these last 2 years of practicing and things like that to be able to thrive in a role just getting thrown in like that. So I do think he, should be looked at in a positive way after that game. But I still think, that the Precious thing was a bit odd. But I do expect Precious to still be the backup big when Bam returns, but obviously Bam will not be there tonight, so we'll see what they do tonight.
Yeah, look, the truth is, for me, Brady, Silva and some of the other guys that are on this team, they're just Heat guys, man. Like, this is the type, and I hate it because I feel like it's a cliche, but it's the truth. They're just Heat, they're the culture guys, right? They're the guys that fit in perfectly with this team, whether they're, really talented or not. That's kind of debatable, of course, but they just fit, man, And Spoelstra seems to know when to kind of give this team a spark and kind of get things going and switch it up a little bit. And listen, that might throw off the other team as well a little bit. So I'm just, it was a bit of a head scratcher, but at the same time, listen, man, who am I to tell Eric Spoelstra what the hell he's doing? I mean, he seems to be doing something right, so I'm going to leave that one alone. But speaking of guys that bring in a spark, speaking of, something a little bit different, look, conversations are being held out there talking about LaMarcus Aldridge and some other guys. And of course, the name Rudy Gay keeps being brought up as well. Now, for me, it's about assets at this point, right? And either way you go, whether it's Aldridge, whether it's Gay, maybe not for some other guys, but those guys like that are rentals, right? I mean, so what are you giving up? What type of assets are you looking at with a guy like Aldridge and then a guy like Gay as well? Like, who fits better on this team right now?
I'm 100% certain, in my opinion, that Rudy Gay fits that much more. I think that's what they need more of. I don't think they need a declining, veteran to put next to Bam. I think they need a spot player like the Jay Crowder. And I think people are probably sick of hearing that Jay Crowder comparison, but it's just the deal itself I'm comparing it to, that you need a type of guy that you can throw in there to kind of get you through, the playoffs and things like that. So, as far as what you're giving up, there's been some things about possibly getting, both Aldridge and Rudy Gay, and I think there's more, sense to giving up some of their role guys that they're valuable right now. But when looking at Aldridge by himself, I don't think that makes you much better. And by that I mean when you're replacing him with Kelly Olynyk, and as far as the ups and downs of Kelly Olynyk have been, and people have had their thoughts on him. If you replace Kelly Olynyk with LaMarcus Aldridge straight up, and they're going to be more to that deal than just Kelly Olynyk, I don't think that makes you better at all. I think that makes you a little bit worse. I think what Kelly brings you at this stage is more than what LaMarcus Aldridge brings you. And that's why I always switch right back over to the Rudy Gay thing. I think Rudy Gay makes a lot more sense. There's been reports that Miami is more focused on the Rudy Gay side of things. And I think that if there is, we talk about all the types of moves, all the different types of guys. I think out of anybody, I think Rudy Gay makes the most sense.
Well, and I guess that's what I was going to say. Rudy Gay makes the most sense. And look, for me, straight up, I'm with you, man. I think Kelly Olynyk gives you a little bit more than LaMarcus Aldridge at this point in their career. But what's it going to take to get a guy like, okay, so I guess the next question is what's it going to take to get a guy like Rudy Gay? Less assets than LaMarcus Aldridge at this point, would you say? Yeah?
I'm not exactly sure. Less than LaMarcus Aldridge because LaMarcus Aldridge could actually be bought out. So I think that's another possibility. And by the way, if he's bought out, I think that makes more sense for Miami. But if he's bought out, I still think he will look at Miami to go that option. But anyway, Rudy Gay would have to be, I don't know if you mentioned the rental thing. I think Kendrick Nunn's always the guy that comes up, but you don't give up a guy like Kendrick Nunn,
right?
A guy that's this important to your team right now. That's another thing. You have to weigh the pros and cons to how much better does it make you. You don't just make a move, for the sake of a trade. And I think that's a lot of things that some people get mixed up, that they need to try to get better. And giving up a guy like Kendrick Nunn, an asset like that, he's looked at as an asset, but he's probably one of their most important players at the moment. So I don't really know exactly the exact specifics of what they'd have to give up, but I think there's going to be some thinking there that they're going to try to make a smart move to make them better by giving up as least as possible.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting what they're gonna do. And I guess just to round that off, is that going to be enough, right? To kind of put them over the hump and to kind of get into to that level where they can compete with the Sixers and with the Bucks and Celtics and I don't know about the Celtics, but whoever's in the 2 seed, which I don't even remember who's in the 2 seed right now. Is that going to be enough to compete with those guys?
I think it will. I think they have the ability, to pull something off like that. I think there's got a lot of teams that could use a guy like Rudy Gay. But I think a lot of these teams are in the same position that if, you're not going to give up a guy that's really helping you at the moment, especially when you're clicking at the top of the East. I don't think you're going to give something up like that. And as much as we talk about Rudy Gay, fixing the offensive, side of things, I think, as I mentioned before, there's in-house moves as well. There's in-house moves, meaning, the Kelly Olynyk thing I mentioned before, you can adjust him to what we're seeing right now as becoming a primary playmaker with Bam out, that when Bam returns, if you keep him in that role to run the offense through him at times and be the primary playmaker, that allows Bam to basically be the scorer guy that you've been waiting for him to be. So I think things like that, these minor offensive adjustments that you can make in that type of, realm can help you. But obviously getting a guy, Rudy Gay, without giving up a lot, I think boosts to itself.
All right, before we let you go, give me one name out there that we're not hearing, or maybe it's not on the radar, that could possibly be a Miami Heat later on after the whether it's through a buyout or a trade. Who's someone that might be a surprise? Give me one name.
Oh man, if you're talking about a surprise, which I'm thinking of, when you first said it, I was thinking about the name Victor Oladipo, because I think he's always going to be linked. I think that's the opposite of a surprise. Right. Because he's always flirting with the team on social media, basically in Miami. And I think he's made it pretty clear. But I think that's a name, even though it's not a surprise, that is always going to be linked to Miami. I think it just comes down to what Miami thinks of it, because in the offseason, if we're looking back past this season, I don't think you make a trade right now. But if you're looking past this season, the contract may be a little heavy with the player that you're getting, with the uncertainties. So I think there's going to be decisions to be made. But I think if you're looking at a type of player that you want to grab, I think Victor Oladipo is the closest guy to that. So it just comes down to what Miami wants to pay.
Always great to have Brady Hawk here on the show and talk a little Miami Heat. Thank you so much again, man. That was Hawk Talk with Brady. Thank you again, my brother Brady. Have a good rest of your week, and we'll talk soon again.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Every Thursday, NBA fans can catch one of the best basketball shows in the country when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host Inside the Paint. Listen to two of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans, OnsideRadio.com.
For the sports fan.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening and visit more2adhd.com for additional information. That's more2adhd.com. This message has been brought to you in partnership with ADA, ACO, and CHAD.
If you missed 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh, you missed.
The things that men will do to their junk blows me away.
It's
like,
idiotic.
People will, Prince Albert's just...
I don't know it.
A Prince Albert? You don't know what a Prince Albert is? Prince Albert is when you have them pierce your manhood through like the, like a giant, just, steel rod. On that note.
4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh, weekday mornings from 8 to 10.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding.
Whoa!
Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Every 2 minutes, a woman in the U.S. is diagnosed with breast cancer. And in that split second, her life changes forever. The toll of breast cancer is great. The need to support those who are battling the disease today is even greater. We're fighting alongside patients because we know one moment can change a lifetime. United by hope, we can end breast cancer. Join our fight. Save lives.
Welcome back to Sunday Sports Drop. To reach out to Jazz, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Back to the Sunday Sports Drop.
Welcome back. We are on the Sunday Sports Drop. Jazz Santana. By the way, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Jazz Santana. And of course, follow Onside Radio at Onside Radio on Twitter. You can catch us always on YouTube. And now we have a Twitch channel as well. Just log on to Twitch and search Onside Radio. you'll be able to check us out there. You can see our ugly mugs as we come at you strong here on this beautiful Sunday morning. Joined always in studio by my producer on the ones and twos over here, Mr. Abel. Hey, I got a question for you, man, because now obviously it's all bright and sunny now. The sun's out. And by the way, thank you, Brady Hawk, for coming on for Hawk Talk. But, it's all nice and are you a fan of this time, or do you prefer to let it get darker earlier, or do you like it when it gets dark like at 8 or 9 o'clock at night now? Which one do you prefer?
I prefer what is happening right now, longer days, shorter nights.
Okay. Because a lot of people, and I'll be honest with you, I'm one of them. I kind of like it when it gets dark early. I don't know why I'm kind of crazy that way, but I do get the whole, hey, let it get darker later. You got more things to do. You can be out on the beach. You can be out on the boat partying and stuff like that and doing your thing. That's what summer's all about. So I for one, like it when it gets darker earlier. I mean, I'm a little bit of a weirdo like that, but it is what it is. Again, thanks, Brady Hawk, for coming on the show. And I want to get to the biggest topic that continues to hit me hard, man, because I don't understand the obsession with, Miami Dolphins free agency. I don't know if there's anything crazier than NFL free agency. Okay, and I know there's a lot of guys out there that Dolphins fans, Dolphins, reporters, people are out there kind of, mentioning Linsley, which is the offensive lineman. They're mentioning some other guys out there like, Allen Robinson's been franchised, but maybe some wide receivers like Marvin Jones and the Juju Smith-Schusters and all these big names that are constantly being mentioned out there. But the biggest one that everybody is tying the Miami Dolphins to, aside from Deshaun Watson, that would be a trade. That's not free agency, but is Aaron Jones, right? Running back out of Green Bay, who has turned himself into a pretty big time star in this league. Okay. He's a great running back. Obviously playing with Aaron Rodgers really doesn't hurt either, right? So, he's got, obviously he's a pretty big time back, like I said. His career stats, I'm trying to pull him up here, but here's my thing, man. My thing with this is he worth all this hype about, people wanting to pay, him 10, 11, 12 million dollars a year? Why? Why do you want to pay a running back that much money, okay, to get a superstar running back? And the reason why I say this, okay, it's clear. It's clear, and I don't understand why it's not talked about as much. Maybe I'm not listening to it. Maybe I'm not hearing it. Maybe I'm not hearing, all the media out there talking about this. But when is the last time? And look, and at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. So you can't tell me that it's not. Okay, at the end of the day, what do you want to see? You want to see Super Bowls. You want to see teams getting to the playoffs, making the Super Bowl. Period. Right? Not, hey, let's make it to the second round. No. It's about the Super Bowl. Okay? When is the last time you saw a superstar running back lead a team to the Super Bowl in the NFL? Maybe he is a superstar. And okay, let me rephrase that. When is the last time you saw a superstar running back get paid big time money and lead a team to a Super Bowl? Because there's teams out there that have had players that have had running backs that eventually turn out to be pretty big stars, right? When's the last time you saw two big time running backs in the Super Bowl on either side of the football field, on either team? Ray Rice and Frank Gore is probably the closest you're going to get to that. A few years back, right, with the Niners and the Ravens. That's probably the closest you're going to get. So, I mean, what are we talking about here? Why are we talking about giving a running back, a free agent running back, all this money? Yes, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He kind of turns into a wide receiver when he's spread out or when he goes in motion. I get all of that. You're still paying the guy tons of money, where we have so many other needs in free agency that I think we should focus on. For instance, Linsley, right? Corey Linsley, I think is his name, the offensive lineman. Okay, maybe that's a guy that you might want to pay the $8 or $9 or $10 million a year for. Okay, because you need those kind of guys to help you with whoever it is that's going to be the backfield. Who won the? Who? I mean, it was Forsett and Ronald Jones, right? And Forsett, we all thought was done in Tampa Bay. Yeah, he had a great, great playoffs basically, right? He ran the ball really well in the playoffs. In the Super Bowl, he balled out, and that's great. But that's my point. Did they pay him a lot of money? Because he may be considered a superstar running back at some point, maybe not this year. Ronald Jones, hype, but not a huge superstar. Still not being paid huge money either. And then on the other side of the ball, who'd you have? Who's your star running back? Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who was drafted in the first round, still on a rookie contract, who played well but really didn't do much down the stretch. Okay. Le'Veon Bell, what did he do for that team? Didn't do much either. Who are the other guys? Darrell Williams. Who did they win a Super Bowl with last year? What's his name? A former Dolphin guy, Darren Williams, right? Darren Williams, I think his name was, the kid from Oklahoma. That's who they won a Super Bowl with as their running back 2 years ago, Pat Mahomes. But it was Pat Mahomes. It was the arm of Pat Mahomes. It was his weapons on the outside with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and those guys. Those are the guys that he won a Super Bowl with. Not with running the ball down your throat. Okay? Who have the Patriots won a Super Bowl with? The likes of LeGarrette Blount, James White. Those guys. Those are the guys that they win Super Bowls with. So what are we even talking about here? Why are we talking about giving this guy so much money as a free agent? Man, that money needs to be, it's just not money well spent, man. It's not a smart move, I think. When you've got the 3rd pick, you've got the 18th pick, you've got the 36th pick, okay? And this running back class this year is loaded. You've got Najee Harris, you've got Travis Etienne, who, by the way, Eric Studsville went to go see himself personally at Pro Day, Travis Etienne, who ran a 4.4 at 215 pounds when he was 199. He was 199 at Clemson, 199 pounds at Clemson. Gained 15 pounds, still ran a 4.4 at his Pro Day. Okay, that's big time right there. Then you've got the 2 running backs over in North Carolina, and Javonte Williams and Michael Carter. Okay, you've got those guys. You've got the kid out of Memphis. Can't remember his last name now. You've got all these really good running backs. Okay, and then you still got Myles Gaskin as probably your 3rd down back. Okay, so you've got things out there that you don't have to go out and spend $10-12 million to get your running back. Okay, and when we come back, I'm going to show you the last 10 running backs, the last 10 years of running backs in the Super Bowl, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. Can you win a Super Bowl with a superstar running back this day and age? This is a passing league, people. Why are we worrying about giving a running back $12 million a year? I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's not for me. Saturdays, sports fans have a place to talk sports and gambling when the J-Rod Experience takes over every afternoon. Tune in every Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. as J-Rod, or Jim, provides you the sports investment information you need to have a little fun on the weekends. That's the J-Rod Experience, 2 to 4 p.m. only at OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. When you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org to learn more.
He was the heart of your family, and he taught you our history. He helped you fix your first flat. He was the best backyard DJ around, and every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect in a time when connection has never been more important. But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage.
The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at storycorpsconnect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
If you missed Man of the Match with Alex Dano, you missed.
And this happens in a lot of food polls, right? When I put out a food discussion and I claim that one thing is better than the other, the people who are the fans of the thing that I don't like as much will always say, oh, you've never had my abuelita's tres leches. Well, no crap. I don't know your grandma. She's never invited me over. I hate that argument. It's like, oh, wait, you think tiramisu is better? You've never had my abuelita's homemade tres leches. Well, until she invites me over, bro, how am I supposed to try? You've clearly never been to Florence where they have great tiramisu, so don't give me your crap. You've never had my nonna's tiramisu.
Yeah, I haven't.
And you'll never have it. She's dead.
Oh, God.
You'll never have it.
I really wanted to.
You're SOL. She didn't save the recipe. It died with her.
Oh, no.
Man of the Match with Alex Dano on South Florida's home for sports talk, OnSideRadio.com.
Parents, we know we can't protect our kids from everything. Eventually, they're going to bump their heads or scrape their knees. But we can protect them from 6 types of cancer. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is a common preventable virus that can cause cancer later in life. The HPV vaccine prevents human papillomavirus and all the cancers it can cause. The American Cancer Society recommends getting your sons and daughters the HPV vaccine starting at age 9 to protect them later in life.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
I'm 54, so basically, it's too late to start saving for retirement, right?
Not right. Starting to save, even in your 50s, can really make a difference.
Well, right now, saving seems hard to wrap my head around. Plus, with the way this year's been going...
Hey, listen, it's okay. You still got this. Just go to aceyourretirement.org. It's an online tool from AARP that can help you get your retirement savings on track no matter your age. It's free and only takes about 3 minutes.
I like 3 minutes.
Yeah, at aceyourretirement.org, you'll chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer a few questions and you'll get a personalized plan and tips to help boost your retirement savings. Tips that are easy to understand and tailored to your lifestyle.
I like that too.
Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Just head to aceyourretirement.org and make your plan to start saving for retirement.
Thanks.
That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
These are unprecedented times. Challenging how the YMCA works to strengthen community as we have for nearly 170 years. But we've always found ways to help people and communities in times of crisis. Right now, Ys across the country are providing emergency childcare, shelter, food programs, and outreach to seniors. But we can't do it alone. Whether you're connected to the Y or have a fond Y memory, we need you to stay with us. Reach out to your local Y today and stay with us for a better us.
Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Drop. You can send Jazz a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's your host, Jazz Santana.
Welcome back. Sunday Sports Drop. Jazz Santana here. Kicking it. Laying back on this beautiful Sunday morning here at Inter Miami CF Stadium as well. Check us out, man. Check us out on all the podcast platforms. If you can't listen to it live, you can always get it on Apple Podcasts. You can always get it on Spotify, Podbean, anywhere you listen to your podcast. Go ahead and check us out there, Onside Radio. Check us out. Just search for the Sunday Sports Drop. You'll be able to find us there. Also, listen to us on YouTube and Twitch. And, watch us on YouTube and on Twitch as well. So we got a lot of ways that you can watch us. And, of course, give us a call at 888-441-4623. And text us live as well, 844-416-8123. Before we go to break, I wanted to kind of keep talking about what I was talking about with Aaron Jones and why I wouldn't pay him that kind of money to come be the running back here for the Miami Dolphins, right? Biggest thing is Super Bowls, okay? Top big-time running backs are not what you want to make it to the Super Bowl. This is a passing league, people, right? Look, so let's just put it this way, right? I already mentioned this year's winning Super Bowl, the Super Bowl champs this year, who they had, who their starting running back was, and it was Leonard Fournette or Ronald Jones, right? Both not on big contracts. One could have been a superstar, kind of fell off a little bit, okay? Last year, then the Chiefs, the year before was the Chiefs, Darren Williams, okay? Come on. The year before that was the Patriots over the Rams, which it was a 13-3 shellacking. And who was the running back there? What was it? James White, I think it was. Something along those lines. The year before that, LeGarrette Blount in Philadelphia, I think, and Jay Ajayi. Both not on big contracts. Both not superstars. Okay? For the Eagles. Before that, the year before that, New England Patriots had LeGarrette Blount. Okay, when they beat the Falcons in that comeback. But it wasn't LeGarrette Blount who's the one that was balling. I mean, again, and even if he was balling, not a superstar running back, not on a huge contract. The Denver Broncos, C.J. Anderson maybe? Not a superstar running back, not on a huge contract. Before that, New England Patriots again, not a big, who was, I can't even remember who their running back was. In Seattle, who was the running back in Seattle that year? Marshawn Lynch. That's probably your biggest one, right? Marshawn Lynch being the biggest superstar. That wasn't on a humongous contract either, I don't think. Okay, against the Denver Broncos. Then the year before that was the year that you had two really nice superstar running backs. We all know what happened with Ray Rice, but Ray Rice and Frank Gore, right? When the Ravens faced the Niners, probably not on huge contracts either. I don't know the numbers, but before that, the New York Giants, and then the Green Bay Packers definitely did not have big-time running backs with huge contracts. We're talking about Eli Manning, okay, making huge throws, okay? We're talking about Green Bay. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers balling, okay? We're talking about the New Orleans Saints the year before that when they beat the Colts. It was the Drew Brees show, okay? I mean, we're there. I just went back 10 years. And could you tell me who their superstar running back that signed a huge deal was? No. So why? I mean, what are you trying to do here? What are we trying to do? I understand that this is the quote unquote Patriot way that we're seeing a lot with the Dolphins and how they do things. Okay, but come on, man. Let's be smart about our money. Let's make the right plays here. When we come back, we'll get into some other stuff. I just wanted to kind of let you guys know about how I felt about Aaron Jones and why I just don't think he's it. But anyways, Onside Radio enters Kai's Corner with Kai Chen Chisholm every day from 10 to noon. Join Kai as he discusses the biggest stories in South Florida sports. Tune in every day, 10 a.m. to noon, for Kai's Corner on the home for South Florida sports talk, OnsideRadio.com.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
Every 2 minutes, a woman in the U.S. is diagnosed with breast cancer. And in that split-second moment in time, her life changes forever. The toll of breast cancer is great. The need to support those who are battling the disease today is even greater. And that's why when others look away, Susan G. Komen leans in. We're fighting alongside patients because we know one moment can change a lifetime. Fighting breast cancer takes funding for research to discover the next new treatment, providing access to quality and affordable health care, and people willing to take action by raising funds and raising their voice to advocate for others. United by hope, we can end breast cancer. Join our fight. Save lives.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that. Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
My daughter is Marina. Marina has a rare form of children's eye cancer, retinoblastoma. Her doctor sent us to a specialist, and then the specialist sent us to St. Jude. Within the first couple weeks of us getting here, I was just so scared. Like, I think the reality just hit me, and it kind of hit me all at once. I had started to cry, and her doctor came in, Dr. Brennan came in, and just didn't even say anything, sat down beside me, and, like, hugged me and held me while I, like, was literally sobbing. And she just said, it's gonna be okay. We don't have to worry anymore. The treatment worked, and we've saved her eye. This place has been such a blessing for us. There's no way we could have paid for treatment back home if we had to. We can come here and we can just solely focus on taking care of her and helping her heal.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Kick back and relax. Time to get in on a Sunday sports groove. Onside Radio presents the Sunday Sports Drop with Jazz Santana. To reach out to the show, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. The text line is 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Let's get started with this week's Sunday Sports.
Drop!
Back at it here on hour 2 of the Sunday Sports Drop. Jazz Santana, joined in studio by Abel. Abel, the producer. Listen, guys, we've had a great show so far. Thank you to Brady Hawk for joining us at 7:20 for Hawk Talk. We talk Miami Heat. Along with the other hot team in South Florida. I mean, the Miami Heat are balling right now. That's 9 out of 10. But also this Florida Panthers team, man, I keep getting amazed. I keep getting more and more amazed at how well this team is playing. Another big win last night against the Chicago Blackhawks. They're kicking ass. So I'm excited to see that as well. It's fun. It's fun to have good hockey down here in Florida, which is kind of interesting. Anyways, let's get right to it, though. Big news. Most excited about talking is Miami Hurricanes. We're going to talk Miami Hurricanes football. We'll talk a little baseball, basketball as well. So I'll give you an update on that also. The Miami Heat basketball team, made a really nice run in the ACC tournament, right? First 13th seed ever in the ACC to make it to the quarterfinals, and they almost got it done, man. They almost beat Georgia Tech Just wasn't enough at the end. But they almost beat Georgia Tech. Lost in the quarterfinals. That's probably it for them. But listen, man, big ups to Coach L, who was catching a lot of slack this year. And, listen, rightfully so, man. You got to win. But playing with 7 players all year, basically. A couple guys out with injuries. Others decide to sit out. Another one transfers out. I mean, it was kind of a mess this year. But they've got some good talent on that team, man. So expect some big things from them coming up next year, hopefully. We definitely want to see that because I think it's about time, man. They've been able to get some nice recruiting classes. I just think they need to put it together. So, but, I mean, I think that's the end of them for this year. I don't think they make the tournament or even the NIT if there is one. But, hey, it was a nice run at the end there. In other news, baseball. So the baseball team continues to stay hot. The bat's starting to wake up a little bit, which is nice. Pitching rotation has changed, which I've been predicting, okay? And if you hear us on if you hear me on the Six Rings Kane show, which is my YouTube show I do on 5 Reasons Sports, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on the YouTube channel, we talk about that, and I talk about it with some of the guys who really love Kane's baseball about how the rotation, having Daniel Fetterman as your Friday night starter. I understand that he's a veteran, but he's just he's not a Friday night starter, man. Like, he's a guy that's going to be a midweek rotation guy, I think, and maybe a Sunday starter. So he was supposed to start today after 2 big wins against Wake Forest. The bats are just Anthony Villar, 9-game hitting streak, hit another bomb last night. I believe Christian Del Castillo, Caballo, excuse me, Adrian Del Castillo, who's probably one of the top hitters in the country, went yard last night as well. The night before, Terrell finally got on the board with a dinger. Scored 11 runs in the first night on Friday night. Scored another 6 last night, but, I mean, it was a pitching last night, too. Victor Medeiros was very good on the mound. Gave up an early lead, but the guys came back, and Villar hit a 2-run bomb, and I think then Del Caballo hit another one. And then they kind of sealed the win, scoring a couple more runs, and then Carson Palmquist came in and just lights out. That guy's the best closer in the country, I think, right now. He's very throws kind of from a weird angle, kind of very Chris Sale-esque, where he's off to the side over here. He's 6'3". Ball gets on you quick. He's 93 to 94. It's exciting to see what the baseball team is doing. Still ranked in the top 10, and they are one of the top 10 teams in the country. And their bats needed to get going, and they did. So I was really excited to see. And I know a lot of you think Kings baseball is boring, man. But if Cutler Ridge, if you're listening out there, and Toast and Marsh, baseball is it, man. And that's the best team, hands down. That is the best team for the University of Miami right now. Best program right now is Hurricanes baseball. So we got to give them credit because they're playing well. They're 8-4 now. I think ranked 8th in the country or 7th, something like that. And they're playing well. They're playing good baseball finally. Bats are starting to wake up. Pitching is much better right now. Really young team. It's a young staff. I wouldn't say a young team. You've got some veterans on there. Christian Del Castillo, which is Adrian's brother, who hits right behind him, is having a solid year, coming in as a 5th-year senior, and leading the way there. Kind of one of the leaders. And Yoandy Morales, who right now is average-wise the best hitter on the team. Needs to fix some things on defense, but on offense he can swing the stick as well. The young kid, a local Miami kid from Braddock Senior High. So, I mean, look, this team can go to Omaha and should go to Omaha. Should actually win the ACC as well. Man, the ACC is tough though. It's so tough. You've got teams like Louisville. Georgia Tech is good. Virginia Tech, geez, where did Virginia Tech come out of? They took 2 of 3 from us, if you guys remember, a few weeks ago. So that's a really good team as well. There's a lot of good teams in the ACC. Virginia, North Carolina's kind of having a down year. But Canes baseball, this is a year where they can really make it far and possibly win it on Omaha, man. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but this is an Omaha team. Okay, and Gino DeMari is doing a great job with this program. So maybe last weekend when I was talking to Toast and Cutler Ridge Laz and all these guys, we were talking about how they were struggling with the bat. Well, the bats woke up, and now they're ready to go. So I think if they put it all together, this is going to be a dangerous team. But what all the Canes fans really want to know about is spring football, baby. Spring football is back. It starts tomorrow. Abel's a Canes fan. Abel knows what's up. He's excited about spring football. How can you not be excited about spring football? Abel, listen, you like the Canes, man.
Love them.
Okay, is spring football not exciting? I mean, especially coming with all these guys that are coming in early, all these young guys battling for positions right now. This is an exciting time, man. This is a really exciting time.
Strongest of the fittest.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to see it. You're going to see guys separate themselves in spring football at the quarterback position. If you hear Manny Diaz talks about Peyton Matoka, Tyler Van Dyke being an absolute beast. Rhett Lashley talks about Peyton Matoka being so athletic that he was playing safety sometimes last year just to help them out. This is exciting, man. I don't know about you, Abel, but I wish I would be able to. And by the way, this is right here. We're actually sitting where they used to play a lot of their spring games as well.
That's right.
So, obviously, I don't think they're going to be allowing fans this year, but maybe they do their spring scrimmage right here as well. They set this up as a football field and do it, which would be kind of interesting as well because this is beautiful here.
We are opening back up little by little, so you never know.
You never know. I mean, that would be nice. I'm obviously a season ticket holder, but I'm usually working the games anyway. So, but big shout out spring football. Look, for me, it's about the battles at certain positions that I think people don't realize, and they're not talking enough about the defensive end position.
Just the trenches, period.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think they got it locked down in the inside with Nesta Silvera, who's actually out for spring football, nursing a shoulder injury. Yeah, he's got a little bit of a shoulder injury.
No, I mean, you really feel like they have it locked down
and
on the offensive line?
No, I'm talking about on first. I'm talking about the tackle position. Defensive tackles.
Defensive tackles. Okay.
Oh, and the offensive line, yeah, to a certain degree. I don't think. Here's the thing, okay? I don't think it's about the starting five. I think it's about 6, 7, and 8. And who are those guys that are going to separate themselves? Because right now, for me, it's Zion Nelson locked down at the left tackle position. Navon Donaldson coming back is huge because that's going to help the run game at left guard. Then you got Corey Gaynor, who's, this is it for him, right? I mean, and he's not bad. He was probably our best offensive lineman last year.
Okay.
At center. Okay. Our right guard, for me, the biggest question mark is that right guard position. I'm not sold on DJ Scaife.
You're not.
Okay. And I know some people are not either. So is it going to be DJ Scaife? Is somebody else going to come in? Maybe who am I? I'm blanking out right now on the other guy that I can see there. But look, Cleveland Reed.
Oh, that's right.
Jalen Rivers is a guy that might come in and play some tackle. Although Jared Williams is coming back for his 6th year. I feel like he's 35 years old. And the
How many players came back?
Just about everybody.
Right?
Just about everybody.
Now, I asked that to ask this. Were we not in the top 10 in sacks allowed last year?
Possibly. I don't know the number.
Okay, so if we have the same players coming back, and let's say, just for the sake of argument, I am right, and we were in the top 10 in sacks allowed, that worries me.
Well, here's the thing. When you say we have players that are coming back, yes, but
they all came back.
But Navon Donaldson didn't play last year because he was hurt. So he is back, but he didn't play. So that's a big boost on the offensive line, just for run support, okay? We're talking about run blocking schemes. His pass blocking is okay. Zion Nelson didn't really play a lot last year. It was more John Campbell starting at left tackle. I think that now when he comes back, he's kind of secured his spot there as the left tackle. Now he's gained some weight. He's gotten a lot stronger. He was young, man. He was a young guy. This is his 3rd year in the program now. Okay, it's put and you're right to a certain extent, Abel. It's put up or shut up time for this offensive line as well. Okay, but I think they've got the players there. They've got the guys behind them. Isaiah Walker did play last year as well. Okay, and he's a transfer that came in. Okay, from Florida. That's a kid that I think is going to come in and make some noise. Okay, like I said, Jalen Rivers earlier. He's a hoss. That's a big dude. Okay, but he was a freshman last year. Okay, now we're building depth. Okay, and if you got those two guys, Cleveland Reed is back. I'm excited about that. You guys still got John Campbell, okay, you can plug and play, who's not terrible. Okay, the biggest question mark for me is really the right guard position with DJ Scaife. I just feel like he's too inconsistent. I feel like he needs to do a better job at holding on to his blocks a little bit longer without holding. Okay, I just feel like he needs some improvement. So that could be the weakest point, I think, right now. Aside from that, look, most importantly for me is the defensive ends. We've lost 3 guys that could potentially be first-round picks at defensive end, and we're not talking enough about that. Okay, you've got young guys like Jafari Harvey coming back, Cam Williams, Chance Williams. Those guys showed flashes that they can play a little bit. It's good that we got the transfer in, DeAndre Jordan from Tennessee, who's a local kid, came back home. He's probably going to be one of your starting ends. Okay, so he's going to be one of your starting ends. Maybe Jafari Harvey on the other side. Maybe some of the young guys. Elijah Roberts is probably going to get some burn there. The inside, I think, is set, man. You got Nesta. You got, what's his name? Jared Harrison Hunt. John Ford, which I think Harrison Hunt should start over John Ford. I just think he's a more talented player. But you've got depth with John Ford. And then you've got the 5-star Leonard Taylor, who's definitely going to get playing time this year. Okay, and if Nesta is hurt and he can't go, that's your starting tackle. It's definitely going to be Leonard Taylor. There's no way you can't put that guy on the field. He's going to be automatically one of the best guys on that defense once he plays. Okay? So it's important to see what's going to happen on the ends. I think that's the most important thing, one of the most important position battles. And then behind them, at the linebacker position, like, we know who's there. We know who's at linebacker. We know it's Sam Brooks. We know it's Sam Brooks. We know it's Huff and Corey Flagg and Tyreek Austin Cave and a couple other guys. But who's going to stand out? Who's going to start? That's the biggest question mark. A cornerback, we all know, Tyreek Stevenson. Al Blades was cleared, which we're really excited about that. Avonte Williams was cleared to play as well. Safeties are loaded. Okay? But then it's those 3 things, and then who can stand out at quarterback? Who's going to kind of take over that number 2 position and possibly start against Alabama? That's going to be huge. Is it Matoka? Is it Tyler Van Dyke? Or is it Jake Garcia? Although Jake Garcia is going to be limited in the spring as well. So, yeah, and then of course the wide receivers, right? And I'm doing this quick because we got to go to break. But the wide receiver position, who's that number 3? Because it's Mike Harley, it's Charleston Rambo, and then it's who else? Is it Pope? Does he finally, step up? Is it D. Wiggins? Or is it the young guys, right? You've got Keyshawn Smith, you've got Xavier Restrepo, Michael Redding, Jeremiah Payton is still there, and then the 3 guys that we just signed, right? And Romello Brinson, Brashard Smith, and Jacoby George. I mean, there's so much talent. Forget about the running back position. The running back position is loaded. So we'll talk about that more maybe after. But when we come back, we've got Kai coming on the show, Kai Chisholm, who you can hear every week from Monday through Friday. We'll talk to him now. Onside Radio continues to grow. To make your life easy, you can now find your favorite sports station by downloading the radio.net app. Download the free app and listen to your favorite OnsideRadio.com host or catch a great Inter-Miami CF game. Go to your app store, download radio.net, and search Onside Radio, the home for South Florida sports fans.
Now streaming online. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance. Say hi, guys. When I adopted them, I discovered that they both have incredible personalities. Chance's sole purpose in life is to love and to be loved. Frankie is a little bit of a scoundrel and always entertaining. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
I'm 54, so basically, it's too late to start saving for retirement, right?
Not right. Starting to save, even in your 50s, can really make a difference.
Well, right now, saving seems hard to wrap my head around. Plus, with the way this year's been going...
Hey, listen, it's okay. You still got this. Just go to aceyourretirement.org. It's an online tool from AARP that can help you get your retirement savings on track no matter your age. It's free and only takes about 3 minutes.
I like 3 minutes.
Yeah, at aceyourretirement.org, you'll chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer a few questions and you'll get a personalized plan and tips to help boost your retirement savings. Tips that are easy to understand and tailored to your lifestyle.
I like that too.
Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Just head to aceyourretirement.org and make your plan to start saving for retirement.
Thanks.
That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Weeknights 6 to 7. Catch Game Night with Michael Christian. Listen to the show that provides the smorgasbord gamers love and sports fans desire. From breaking sports news to the latest in the gaming culture. Catch Game Night with Michael Christian from 6 to 7 p.m. exclusively at OnSideRadio.com.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
The fighting spirit of the Marine Corps is born of battles won. Battles won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's a promise made to you for more than 2 centuries. A promise of the Marines.
It's the sports therapy you need. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Drop. To join the conversation, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Back to the drop with Jazz Santana.
Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Drop. Abel on the ones and twos, queuing up some sweet jams there, man, making it feel good. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. I love it. I love it. Thanks, Abel, for that good music, man. Making me feel good, man. I appreciate it. Anyways, getting back to it here on the Sunday Sports Drop, I am now joined by my compadre, a good friend of mine who is doing some amazing work here on on his show on the network. And he is also on the 5 Reasons Sports Network with the Extra Yard, covering Miami Dolphins football and the NFL. But you can catch him here Monday through Friday from 10 to 12, Mr. Kai Chisholm. Thank you, my friend Kai, for coming on the program, buddy. Appreciate it.
Of course, man. I don't know how the heck you do this, dude. Like, I'm just tired in general. Plus, we sprung forward now with the time, man. Big ups for waking up early and doing this every Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell I do it either, bro. It's love. It's love. That's what it boils down to, right? The love for sports and the love to be here. And that's all I really got for you, man.
It's like those other shows. Like, doesn't like Skip and Shannon and them, like, they wake up at like 4 a.m. and stuff? Like, nah.
Yeah.
I guess, well, maybe if I'm getting paid like that, that's a whole different story. But I enjoy my sleep. Like, the Monday through Friday, it's a little different. But, man,
well, Monday through Friday is not too bad, man. You got 10 a.m. Well, that's okay. So I was asking Abel this earlier, right? Before we get into it, like, do you prefer this time, spring forward, or you like fall back? What do you prefer?
It depends. Like, for a week, it'll be difficult because of, like, sleep and everything like that. Like, it'll be weird, like, getting used to it and everything. But, man, like, sometimes it's nice having those days be a little shorter. Like, obviously, it'll end up being normal because just with my job,
right.
Then some people stop coming and they don't play tennis, and it just makes me happy because I don't want to deal with tennis players. So, depends.
I don't blame you, man. For me, it's all about my summer body. If I got my summer body on point, man, I'm good with spring forward, which is never. So, fall back. It's fall back for me, man.
I feel you.
I threw you a curveball with that summer body. I know that. So check this out. Let's talk a little Dolphins. I went on a little bit of a rant earlier. I don't know if you heard it. We'll talk about that. But before we get to that, obviously the Deshaun Watson stuff is still there. It's still lingering around. Now finally, apparently, what's his face? I can't even remember his name now over at the Texans, is kind of talking about how maybe they want to move him or they don't know if they want. What's going on with Deshaun Watson? What's your take? Is Miami still in it, or are they kind of just driving the price up now for him?
Well, David Culley, who I'm assuming is the one you're talking about.
Yeah, David Culley, that guy. Yeah, there you go. Culley.
He made some comments that were interesting, to say the least. I mean, he did 2 different interviews in the same day. He was on a podcast, and then it was sort of like a press conference. In the podcast, he said that Deshaun Watson's their quarterback right now. And then in the press conference, it was like a completely different situation. There's 2 parts to this, and I talked about it a little bit over the week as well, like on Friday, where part of me is like conflicted with what might happen, because I think, it's like the bad organization stuff, Jazz, like stuff like with Bradley Beal and the Wizards is kind of the example I use, where when you knowingly sign a contract extension with a franchise that's not notoriously known for being a good franchise, there's part of me that feels like, you got to stick it out. But then, of course, with Deshaun Watson, if you're the Texans at this point, you have to trade him. There's no way that he can step back into that building, not because of his teammates and his, they're all going to be on his side because they understand for sure. But your fan base at some point is going to get tired of it. At some point, it's just like, let's get this over with. Let's move on to the next point. He's a franchise quarterback, and you ruined it if you're the Texans. And if you're the Dolphins, I think it would make 0 sense not to be in it. I love Tua. I think that there's a lot of potential in Tua. You don't get hyped up that much. And one of the most, highly touted quarterbacks since Andrew Luck coming out of the draft, and get deemed, the left-handed Drew Brees and everything like that if you're not as accurate as he truly is. And I think that he does have a lot of potential. But Deshaun Watson, in my opinion, is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. If you get a chance, you listen.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, if you, like you said, if you have a chance and he gives you an opportunity, yeah, you definitely listen to it. Now, moving on from that, I think the other biggest name, especially in free agency right now, linked to the Miami Dolphins, well, at least what people are looking at out there, is Aaron Jones. Now, before I get into it, are you on the Aaron Jones train?
If it's a good price, yes.
Okay, because
it's something like not. $14 million now.
Yeah, I'm not on the Aaron Jones train. And I ranted. I don't know if you heard it earlier, but I'm just dumbfounded by the fact that people are going crazy about trying to grab Aaron Jones and pay him all this money. And I'm sorry, like, for me, at the end of the day, man, like, Dolphins fans need to understand this, and they should by now. What it's about is winning Super Bowls, right? Like, that's the bottom line in the NFL. You win a Super Bowl. When is the last time you had superstar running backs on a mega contract, on a huge contract, not only make it to the Super Bowl, but win a Super Bowl? Give me the last 10 running backs, the last decade of running backs. You don't see it. Why are you going to spend so much money on a running back?
The only 2 that come to mind is like Marshawn and like Jerome Bettis. Like those are, and even then, like Jerome Bettis wasn't on a huge contract, and neither was Marshawn. Exactly. But like those are kind of the ones you think about.
And maybe maybe Ray Rice and Frank Gore, but this again, they weren't on.
Oh, you're not supposed to say that name, Jazz.
I know, man. It is what it is.
His name is banned.
It is what it is.
I get what you mean. I'm big on not having to give out huge, gigantic contract extensions to running backs. I think we saw the perfect example of how that sort of – I think there's 2 perfect examples. The Dolphins had two situations actually in their own, team. Lamar Miller wanted an insane amount of money, and, it doesn't matter if you're a homegrown talent, UM guy. Lamar Miller wasn't worth that money, and it showed not worth that money. You didn't have to pay Jay Ajayi, but whenever that was going to come to the point, if you did not trade him, his knees were bone to bone. Like, Jay Ajayi was done after that 1 year, and he showed that in Philly. He didn't do anything in Philly. He got a Super Bowl ring, that's great, but didn't do anything in Philly. And the last one that you can think, or 2 actually that you can think of outside of the Dolphins, DeMarco Murray got paid by the Titans. didn't really do much. And then Ezekiel Elliott getting paid by his own team in Dallas. I mean, what has that done for Dallas? So I understand.
Yeah, it's a passing league, man.
I would love Aaron Jones at the right price. That's my caveat. If it's in the $13-14 million range, that's when I'm sitting there thinking, I'm okay. I would rather go after like a Travis Etienne, a Javonte Williams, a Najee Harris, or go for a second guy in free agency, someone that isn't as highly touted, and go from there. I'd rather put that money towards a receiver because I feel like that's a more pressing need.
Exactly. That's my whole thing. The pressing needs, maybe even Linsley. I get that, now with the addition of Isaiah Wilson, the offensive line is starting to kind of shore up. But listen, you can't give up. You can't. I'd rather give that money. I'd rather give $9 or $10 million to Corey Linsley. It's just
he's a great center.
Yeah, that's just the bottom line. I mean, Ted Karras did all right, but at this point he's kind of old and he's past his prime. Let's put it that way. But my thing is, like you said, man, is and that's what I kind of wanted to segue to, was a free agent market right now for the Dolphins. I know they're in play for a lot of guys, and some of the guys that they were in play for have been franchise tagged and so on. But who are some of the guys that maybe you want to see the Dolphins either go after real hard, sign, put on this team? Because I think it's important that, and we know what their needs are. We get it. But, certain players you can get in the draft, as we've spoken about, and then other guys you really want to kind of fill in that free agency market. Who are some of the guys that you want to see there?
Easily Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't understand the hate that gets thrown Juju's way. Now, I do agree that Juju talks a little too much. I think some of the comments he made about the Browns was real stupid. But he's a guy that I would love to see. He's a great slot receiver. And he had a pretty average year this season from what the expectation of Juju is. He's a really talented receiver. He's a great slot receiver. He's talent that we definitely need on this roster. Juju would be one that I would love to. I mean, when it comes to it's a receiver, I want to see a receiver. It would be Juju. Kenny Golladay, I think, is going to get priced out of our market. And then the other one, which also might get priced out of our market, is Curtis Samuel. I just think that those three are the ones that if I had the chance to go out there and get them, if I'm the Dolphins, I would love to try to do. It's funny because with Juju, and it wasn't like something that was like widely reported, but Ian Rappaport on Friday was on the Pat McAfee show, and he mentioned that he could see Juju take a 1 year prove it at about maybe $10 million. It wasn't like it was like a huge report, but he said, it's possible that he might do that. I would love that if I'm the Dolphins. You get Juju, who had a pretty average year for what you expect out of him, or at least we were expecting out of him as he was starting to become at least a bigger name in the NFL, on a 1 year, $10 million deal. If he proves it, you sign him to a bigger deal. If you want to, you got a guy, and hopefully if he proves it, that means that Tua had a good year. You keep them together. They're already friends. That would be a perfect situation. And the next one would have to be Corey Linsley. I want to shore up the offensive line. As you said, Ted Karras, they're the same age. Lindsey's 29, Karras is 29, I believe, as well. Or he might be a little bit younger. But, I mean, Karras just he's always been a very average center. He's never been a great center. And Corey Linsley's one of the best centers in the NFL. And if you can get that and then be able to have the ability to draft BPA in the draft and not have to go after a guy like Creed Humphrey, I'm all for it.
That's it right there, man. Good stuff. Good stuff from Kai. Kai, thank you so much for joining us, man. We appreciate it. You can catch him here on Onside Radio Monday through Friday from 10 to 12 every day on Kai's Corner. Kai Chen Chisholm. Excuse me. I always forget the Chen Chisholm part. But Kai Chisholm here on the program. Thank you so much for joining us, my brother. I truly appreciate it. Hope to have you on soon again.
Of course, man. Shout out Abel as well. Hope you have a great rest of your show. I am going to get my hour back from spring and forward.
Have fun with that, bro. Appreciate it. Take it easy.
You too, man.
Miami Dolphins fans can always count on the best coverage at OnsideRadio.com. Every week, keep up with your favorite team as Dolphins writer Omar Kelly joins us with exclusive reports and when news breaks. Catch the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report on the home for Dolphins fans everywhere, OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
We live in challenging times, and we understand you have questions about how you're going to take care of your family and yourself. Well, you can trust the Publix is doing everything possible to help. Our stores continue to be open. We're busy restocking as quickly as we can. But please remember to think of others as you shop for the week ahead. This will give your friends and neighbors the opportunity to get what they need as well. Our supply chains are strong, deliveries are being made throughout the day, and our associates are here every step of the way. It's not always going to be perfect, but together we'll make it through this. So let's be safe. Let's be calm. Let's be kind. Visit Publix.com for all the latest information.
Hey everybody, it's Good Greek Moving and Storage, and for over 2 decades, they've been entrusted to handle all of your moving and storage needs. And now, Good Greek is the official mover of Inter Miami CF. And if Inter Miami trusts the Good Greek, you should too. For the best move ever, whether it's across town or across the country, go to GreekMoving.com. That's GreekMoving.com for Good Greek Moving and Storage, the official movers of your Inter Miami CF.
If you missed Omar Kelly and the Miami Dolphins report sponsored by EJDconstruction.com today, you missed this.
I think that George Godsey was probably the most qualified. Unfortunately, he's been an offensive coordinator with the Houston Texans, and while they were in the playoffs with 2 9-7 records during his 2 years tenure, he produced one of the worst offenses in the NFL in his final season before getting fired. Flo understands and knows that his run game has been piss poor in the last 2 years, and yes, Eric Studesville has been his running backs coach, but he hasn't really had say in how the running game is structured or how the offensive line is structured.
Omar Kelly and the Miami Dolphins report, brought to you by EJD Construction. Count on a company that's an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. EJDconstruction.com.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today. Every 2 minutes, a woman in the U.S. is diagnosed with breast cancer. And in that moment in time, her life changes forever. We're fighting alongside patients because we know one moment can change a lifetime.
It's the sports therapy you need. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Drop. To join the conversation, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Back to the drop with Jazz Santana.
Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Drop. Jazz Santana here at the Inter Miami CS Stadium, high atop the arena here. Well, the stadium here. Abel producing there on the ones and twos on the tracks. And of course, listen, you guys can always phone us, as you heard there, at 888-441-4623. Also send me a text, 844-416-8123. We had a really great show today, thanks to Brady Hawk coming on the program, as he always does every Sunday with Hawk Talk at 7:20 a.m. to talk to Miami Heat. And listen, going 9-1 in the last 10 games, the 4th seed now, playing really good. And the last 3 victories have been without Bam, who's going to be out today again. He's going to be out, I don't know how much longer, so we'll obviously get an update from that every Sunday from Brady. But Kelly Olynyk doing some good things to kind of replace him right now. And then, of course, still looking to make a move. We also want to thank Kai, who just heard on the program right now in the 8:20 a.m. segment, where we spoke Miami Dolphins football, free agency, and who he may want to see here on the team. And I think he agrees with me for the most part when it comes to Aaron Jones. I just don't think you want to pay him that $13-14 million a year. It just doesn't make sense. It's not a smart move for a team that wants to go to the Super Bowl, because at the end of the day, like he mentioned, I mean, even Marshawn Lynch wasn't on a huge contract. Jerome Bettis wasn't on a huge contract, and that was, I think, 2009, if I'm not mistaken, with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Frank Gore, who didn't win it, and then, of course, apparently I can't mention the running back for Baltimore that year anymore either. But the truth still remains. You pay a running back a lot of money, you are not going to go to the Super Bowl. And you're not going to get very far. That's just the bottom line, man. This is a passing league, so you need to give Tua the weapons, or whoever it is that's going to be the quarterback, Tua, Deshaun Watson, I don't care who it is, okay? You got to give them the weapons, all right? And free agency is where you go and get some of those weapons. And I'm going to give you my top 3 free agents that I think the Dolphins should really focus on, okay? And this is just, based off of what I feel that they really need to do, okay? First off, you just released Kyle Van Noy. You've got, I know Andrew Van Ginkel played really well, and I like him. I think he can become something. I think he can be pretty special as Van Ginkel. You're starting to see him make more plays on a consistent basis as opposed to just every now and then. He's starting to get more consistent, starting to make some really good plays. Like him, like AVG a lot, okay? But I still think maybe you might need to go get an edge guy. Ogba is still there, which is nice. He did some good things. Or maybe you just kind of leave AVG alone and let him do his thing there with Van Noy gone now. However, they did that for a reason, right? They needed some money to sign some big players. So for me, the first guy that I think they need to go after, and Kai was talking about this as well, because I think he agrees it's wide receiver. I think is one of the big playmaker on wide receiver that I think they need to go after. And now being that he has decided to test free agency, I was all about, God, this is so hard for me, Abel. I don't want to do Kenny Golladay. I'm excited about Kenny Golladay, but he was hurt so much last year with some back issues and some other stuff. And I really love how exciting Curtis Samuel is. So I'm going to stick to my guns here. Okay, I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm going to go the first guy that I think the Dolphins need to go after. Not Kenny Golladay, not Juju Smith-Schuster. All great guys. I think that they'll be good with either of those guys. But for me, it's Curtis Samuel. He's so explosive. You can do so many things with him. Not only spread him out wide, but have him in motion. Curtis Samuel is number one for me.
Okay. What position does he play?
He's a wide receiver.
He's a wide receiver.
Yes. He's explosive. He finally got 1,000 yards this year under Matt Rule.
That's what I was going to get to. You heard what you just said. He finally got 1,000 yards this year.
Right.
Finally.
Yeah. Well, he's also 25 years old, first of all, so he hasn't been in the league for very long. Okay. I think he's in his third year in the league, so that's number one. Okay, but the offense that Matt Rule is running is going to be very similar to what the Dolphins are going to run. Okay, they're going to spread out the offense, and they're going to get guys in space, and that's what Curtis Samuel does well, in space. You give him the ball in space, you do the end arounds, you do the screen passes, you get him out in the open field, and he's going to smoke everybody. He's going to run right by everybody.
Well, last year the Dolphins played a lot of 3 receiver sets. I know you don't like the running back. You made that perfectly clear, but they played a lot of 3 receiver sets, and I understand. You might say, I'm going to assume, you might say that was because they need the outlet to get Tua out of trouble. I got it. But the offense that we played wasn't actually a wide open 4 receiver set, empty backfield like you're describing right now. It was more of a 3 receiver set, and it was kind of conventional to me. And I think that was the problem what everybody was complaining about. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, but here's the one constant that's not there anymore, and that's Chan Gailey. He's gone. So this offense is going to be a little bit different.
Isn't the playbook the same, though?
Look.
It's just who's not calling the plays right now.
Yeah.
He's not calling, but the playbook's the same.
Yes and no. I think there's going to be some variances to that playbook, okay? I think Studsville is going to kind of, put in his own style to it. Is it going to be the same? Yeah, to a certain degree, but also you got to remember this, and maybe this is just speculation, but notice how more spread out and opened up it was when Ryan Fitzpatrick was at quarterback, right? How I don't want to say opened up and spread out. Maybe that's the wrong example. Maybe that's the wrong definition. What I'm trying to say is how it was more, the reins weren't held back.
I don't think they were held back with Tua. I just believe that Tua didn't trust the 50-50 aspect of the playbook they tried to give him. Fitzpatrick, the main thing he was known for was being a gunslinger. So he doesn't mind throwing the ball down 40, 45 yards down the line and trust his receiver they're going to go up there and get it. And half of the time, that's exactly what happened. When Tua didn't take those type of chances.
He didn't. You're right. He didn't take as many chances, and you're right. Fitzpatrick did take more. He was more of a risk taker. And maybe Tua did hold back a little bit, but you can see a little bit of a difference in the play calling as well when Tua was at quarterback. So he's my number one guy still. Either way, no matter how you put it, I think it's Curtis Samuel for me. And then maybe right behind him is going to be Corey Linsley. You heard Kai talk about it. Ted Karras and him, about the same age. Corey Linsley's 30 years old, but that guy, he's one of the best centers in the league. You got to go after him. And then maybe at the end, this is going to be a shocker, you go get Alex Smith as your backup quarterback.
Oh, there you go.
Woo! I did it.
There you go.
I did it.
Why?
I went Alex Smith.
Why?
Why not?
Why not?
You can't
Because
you can't bring Fitzpatrick back. You can't bring Fitzpatrick back. Because it's just.
Does he want to come back?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Has anyone asked him what he wants to do? Everyone's assuming what they should and shouldn't do, but no one heard anything from Fitzpatrick saying, "Hey, I want to move on," or "Hey, I want to retire," or "Hey, I want to come back."
I don't really think it matters. I just don't think that. I don't want to. This is just me. I don't want him back on this team. I don't want, and it's not for lack of production and having a really good quarterback as your backup quarterback. I think Alex Smith is the same guy. You could probably get him for a little bit less money. And it's not going to be the same as having Ryan Fitzpatrick here and having the same instance and the same things that happened last year. So that's just my take on that. So those are my 3 guys. Okay, but
now streaming online. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Parents, we know we can't protect our kids from everything. Eventually, they're going to bump their heads or scrape their knees. But we can protect them from 6 types of cancer. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is a common preventable virus that can cause cancer later in life. The HPV vaccine prevents human papillomavirus and all the cancers it can cause. The American Cancer Society recommends getting your sons and daughters the HPV vaccine starting at age 9 to protect them later in life.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
I'm 54, so basically, it's too late to start saving for retirement, right?
Not right. Starting to save, even in your 50s, can really make a difference.
Well, right now, saving seems hard to wrap my head around. Plus, with the way this year's been going...
Hey, listen, it's okay. You still got this. Just go to aceyourretirement.org. It's an online tool from AARP that can help you get your retirement savings on track no matter your age. It's free and only takes about 3 minutes.
I like 3 minutes.
Yeah, at aceyourretirement.org, you'll chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer a few questions and you'll get a personalized plan and tips to help boost your retirement savings. Tips that are easy to understand and tailored to your lifestyle.
I like that too.
Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Just head to aceyourretirement.org and make your plan to start saving for retirement.
Thanks.
That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Baseball fans will go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch the show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues. Saturday at 8 a.m., exclusively at OnSideRadio.com.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
What is dedication?
I am the father of a 9-year-old little girl and a 6-year-old little boy, and I find fatherhood both relentlessly challenging and relentlessly rewarding. My daughter is biological and my son is adopted. I love them both so much. From the morning when you wake up to putting them to bed at night and every moment in between, it really is so special, and boy, is it exhausting. One thing that I fear about being a parent is the future for my children. I think a parent's job is to protect our children, but also prepare them for the world so they become good, kind human beings. But I'm also hopeful that the future holds a more inclusive and compassionate world for them.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Drop. You can send Jazz a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's your host, Jazz Santana.
All right, welcome back. Closing this thing out here on the Sunday Sports Drop. Jazz Santana here. Thank you, Abel, for running it today. Did a great job, man. Catch us again. You can call us at 888-441-4623 or text 844-416-8123. Joined in the studio now by Juan Cardona, who's up next here from 9 to 11, the one-on-one show. I've been listening to this song lately, by the way. It's by listen, don't judge me, man, but Billie Eilish has got some pretty banging songs. So there's one that she says, one, on one or something like that, and every time I hear it, I'm like,
You hear me.
Jesus Christ, Juan Cardona, here we go, bro, with
That's
one
funny.
on one. So, listen, we got a very limited amount of time, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
get right to it. Do you want to pay Aaron Jones $13 to $14 million a year?
I don't think we're gonna have to pay him that much. I think it's gonna be somewhere within 3 to probably 3 years. I'm talking about. 3
Oh
years.
my God, I was gonna say
probably,
$3 million. I'm taking.
Nah, yeah, 3 years, probably a $9 to $10 million deal. Just because the last offer that I seen the Packers actually put in was $9 million a year. You take that and bring him to sunny Miami, South Beach, beautiful women, no state taxes. You do that and you can offer him 9 to 10 million, almost the exact same deal, and he's gaining a lot more just by signing with us. So I definitely think that I would absolutely hit him and Linsley up for about 20 to 21 million dollars a year. Solidify my running game, and then just go into draft night going BPA with every single position, bro.
Here's why. Even at 9 to 10 million, I'm still probably not pulling the trigger. I'm a traditionalist in this sense that I follow the number, this number, and I just, for me, the end game is the Super Bowl, and for me, it's about I'm not paying a superstar running back a mega contract because I haven't seen in the past, at least in the past 10 years, a big time running back win a Super Bowl. I just haven't. I mean, that's been paid.
Yeah, no, that's
right.
fair.
There's the Marshawn
Yeah,
Lynch's,
that's
like
fair.
And the Frank Gores and the other guy in Baltimore that we can't say his name apparently anymore. But that guy also. There's been guys.
Yeah, I just think
just can't do it, man.
I think if we had that type of mindset, we wouldn't have the two highest paid cornerbacks in the league as far as the Dolphins. So like I've seen also the numbers where they're like, quarterbacks, once they get paid over 13% of the cap, you don't win a Super Bowl, or you start losing chances to win Super Bowls. But I mean, there's exceptions to all those rules, and just like that, I mean, Aaron Jones, you look at it, and I've done some tape on him, man. Like, he is literally a wide receiver in a running back's body. You can put him out wide, you can put him in screens, you can put him RPOs, jets. You could do everything that you would want to do right now with Miles. It's just that much better. You bring him in paired up with Linsley, and now you got a solid O-line. Now you have a solid running game. And, hey, look, if you still want to go get Javonte Williams, you still want to go and get Michael Carter, you still want to get James Patterson, you can still round out the running back room and still give yourself a chance to where, hey, look, if this guy in 2 years, 3 years isn't the guy that we thought he was, you still have yourself some insurance policy. But I just feel like, especially now with a rookie contract, it's the time to spend.
You definitely. I'm with you on the rookie contract thing, and the BPA thing definitely. 3, 18, 36. You got a lot that you can do there. For me, and I was telling Abel this. For me, it's Curtis Samuel. I love Curtis Samuel. He can do a lot of those things that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
He's not obviously he's not a running back, but he's got that kind of skill set as well. I'm all in on Curtis Samuel. I love what he does. I love what he does on the field. I think he's so explosive. I think he can take the top off defenses, but he can also catch a screen pass and take it. I mean, he's just so versatile that I'm putting more money on Curtis Samuel and Corey Linsley. I love Corey Linsley. I agree with you there. I think that guy we need a guy like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I'm still just like, go get, and I love Javonte Williams. That's why I think, because I'm so sold on like a guy like Javonte Williams, and even the kid over in Memphis. I love him as well. I can't for Gainwell.
Yeah.
Gainwell. I love him as well. So I don't know, man. I guess I fall into that trap, but I'm passionate about it. I'm not giving Aaron Jones $11-12 million. I'm not doing it.
We can't go into training camp with just having one new receiver and one new running back and one new O-line, because we saw last year what killed us was injuries, and the players that were injured are players that are normally injured.
But that's what you got the draft for, right?
So that's what I'm saying. So you really only have 10, 11 picks. Like, you're not gonna spend 2 on wide receivers, 2 on running backs, 2 on O-line, because then you really you limit yourself. I think you attack free agency, and then, like I said, you give yourself BPA for 3, 18, and 36.
All right, we're gonna close this out. What do you got going on?
Yeah, so I got an exciting show. I got Omar Kelly coming and joining us at 9:20. I'm also gonna be getting us a little free agency primer. It's gonna be a pretty hectic Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to actually have a live stream for the extra yard and 3 yards per carry. We're going to partner up with 5 Reasons Sports. We're going to have a live stream from 3:30 to 7:30. And then that's it. That's about it, man. We're going to get it going.
Should be fun. Thank you to Brady Hawk, Kai Chisholm for joining the show. That was a Sunday Sports Drop. Catch us here every Sunday. Thank you so much. You got one-on-one going up now. Have a good weekend, everybody.
No wimpy corporate-led radio station here. You're listening to the only station in South Florida that truly gives you a voice. OnSideRadio.com.
What is dedication?
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Dariana. We call him Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I think the advice I would give is you don't need to know all the answers. The craziest thing was believing that your dad knew everything. So as a dad, you felt like you had to know everything. You had to get everything right. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, then, it kind of starts to work itself out. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. Air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that. Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
A message to help keep you safe.